You know, I couldn't believe what Penny Wong, our Foreign Minister, did to Australia's reputation when she went on CNN yesterday. You know, CNN broadcasts the hotels around the world. Now, consider, the Voice is headed to defeat. I think it's certain. It's headed to defeat. And it would help absolutely no one in this country if we tell the world a lie, that a defeat would prove that Australians are racist or they don't want to treat Aborigines as equals, as a cesspit here. You know, when in fact, you know, many no voters, in fact, saying that's exactly what they do want. They do want to treat Aborigines as equal, and that's not be divided by race. So for the Foreign Minister of this country to give this response, preparing the world to consider us racist, I find shocking.
A, do you think it'll pass? B, if it doesn't, what does it say to the world about Australia's commitment to Indigenous?
This is about that future and whether or not we can have a future in which Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australia can walk together.
Seriously, Labor seems to be going out of its way to hurt this country, now smear its international good name. But luckily, one of the very few good things about this voice referendum is that we are getting to hear new voices, Aboriginal voices. And as you know, I've been introducing you to some of them from both sides of the debate. Well, tonight my guest is someone just out of university, now working as a paralegal, is Myles Jerrard. Myles Jerrard, campaigning for the no vote. Myles Jerrard, thank you so much for your time. Look, the voice debate, you know, there's one good thing that's come out of it, I reckon, and that it seems to have brought out new Aboriginal voices on both sides of the debate. Can you start by telling us a bit about yourself, how you got to be political and to get stuck into this voice debate yourself?
Yes, thank you, Andrew, for having me on, and that's absolutely right. Another good thing that's come out of this referendum, I also think, is that people are actually having the conversations about the issues that are happening in Indigenous communities around the dinner table, and it's mainstream conversations on the news. So, you know, I think that's another great thing that's coming out of this referendum. Look, I come from a relatively small community called Tinga in the northwestern tablelands. And, you know, I grew up seeing a lot of the experiences that a lot of Aboriginal people go through, the drugs, the alcohol, domestic violence. I was exposed to a lot of these things in my very own home and many of my family members as well. You know, so it's been something that has been at the forefront of my belief that if you want to make something for yourself, only you can decide that, and that's exactly what I did. I seen the massive impact that the criminal justice system was having on my community and a lot of the individuals in my community, particularly a lot of my family members, and I decided that I wanted to be on the right side of the law. So yeah, of a lot of conversations around with my career advisor and my Indigenous studies teacher, who I owe a lot to. I had the opportunity to come down to Sydney to study law, and with a Bachelor of Arts majoring in politics. And I think my story really speaks to why I'm against this voice, is that no matter where you come from in this country, you can succeed.
So tell us more about your attitude to the voice then, given where you've come from.
Yeah, look, I think my attitude really stemmed from, you know, we see a lot of these Aboriginal figures and on TV saying that this voice has come from Indigenous people. But my first interactions that I've had, or conversations with the voice, have been one that a lot of Aboriginal people don't even know what it is. You know, I've asked my grandmother one time, what is The Voice? I asked her, do you know anything about The Voice? And she said she really liked that show, you know, talking about the singing contest on, you know, and it's just baffling that, you know, I see all these people saying that it's on behalf of the Indigenous Australians. It's not. I am a testament to that. It really also stems from, you know, 2017 convention at Uluru. You know, those 250 signatories that went to Uluru were unelected. A lot of them were not representatives of a lot of other Aboriginal communities who were absent at that convention. Particularly my people, the Kuruma people from Tingha, they were not there to be consulted on what they wanted. You know, and also what it really comes down to is that this voice is predicated on a principle that Aboriginal people are inherently disadvantaged. If we enshrine that in our constitution, it is forever, and I do not want that for my children. I do not want that for the next generation. And I think also, you know, what's also come out of the Yes campaign is these two words of self-determination and reconciliation, and that the voice is going to be the thing that is going to achieve all these things when it's not. You know, reconciliation is not a destination. It's a journey, and it's one that we've been on for generations now. You know, reconciliation is happening every day. You know, this very interview is reconciliation. We're having the conversations. You know, you, Andrew, as a white man, and me as a black man, we can sit down and have a civil conversation. That is reconciliation happening right now. The colleagues that choose to work together, relationships that, you know, cross racial lines, and, you know, communities that come together in hard times. That's reconciliation. And self-determination, you know, only you can achieve that. That's something that is an innate thing that is innate to all individuals, black, white or otherwise.